Alright, good morning guys. Welcome to Cajun Homestead. And today I got to get into these little Apame 7-frame nukes. Check on my Swiffer sheets and check to see how the hives are doing and maybe add some sugar water if they need it. Well, let's get into it. Okay, I'm going to get into this one right here first. And what I'm using for the Swiffer sheets is the actual real Swiffer sheet you buy for the mop. Some of the other guys that have been using some towels. The ones from, if you've watched Bruce's Bees, he has a box of towels that he buys and they work really well. Some guys buy these others off of Amazon that don't have the little herring that the original Swiffer sheet has. So the bees have to rough it up first before the beetles can get caught. But these, they've already come fluffed up if you buy the original Swiffer sheets, and they catch really well. So let me go into this one and we'll see. Got some ants up here. How these others are doing. Looks like they're doing pretty good. I still got some sugar water in here. But here's the old Swiffer sheets. I'm going to show you this up close. But as you can see, look at all the beetles that are caught on these sheets. And these are beetles that would have been laying eggs or anything else. Now you get one or two bees that get caught up in there, but you can see how well this works. And I've been controlling my beetles this year. Haven't had any slime outs on my smaller nukes. I've been putting a beetle trap in there, but I find the Swiffer sheets work just as good as the beetle traps. Let's see if we got anything in this beetle trap here. This is actually a good beetle trap. It's a reusable. These 7 frames are some tight hives. Yeah, I got about, let's see. Let me open this up. That's about 5 or 6 dead beetles in there, but as you can see, the Swiffer sheets probably had 100 or so. Take a quick look. A little bit of food on this one. This is one of my new queens that I raised this year. And this was the last round. I just pulled the divider out from here. You can see they're eating up that pollen patty pretty good. As you can see, I only put small. I mean, the pollen patty was about 2 by 4 inches, and they're eating it up pretty good. And there's no larva in the pollen patty. So the Swiffer sheets are doing the job. And I have a strip in here. And she's got this laid right up all the way to the edges. So that's pretty good. She's even laying under the strip. Really good. And like I said, this queen's only been in here a couple of weeks. Here's another one of her frames. Okay, so I've seen larvae and eggs on this, and cat brood on that one, so that's all I need to see in this one. So it looks like they're setting up for the winter pretty good. Gonna have to still do a little bit more feeding. This is just a drawn frame. I'm gonna leave this on the outside. Okay. And I don't see any. Usually the beetles will get caught between your frames. The bees will run them up in the corners or on the edges. But I don't see any in there, so doing a good job. And all I do is take a full sheet, divide it in half, and I put it on the edges where they push the beetles to. and then I catch the edge of it with the feeders, or if you had another box, you catch the edge of it to hold it in place, just like that. I'm gonna put my pollen patty back on top, and this one still has feed, so I'm not gonna add any more. And that's how I'm controlling my beetles this year, and it's working really, really well. Oh, forgot to put my beetle trap back in. And them last two sheets were added about a month ago, so I mean they worked. As you can see, there were hardly any. I didn't see any beetles running around, so I probably could have left those in there. But August and September are really bad months for hive beetles in Louisiana. Okay, this is the second one. You can see this queen was from 7. I put a fresh eggs up in here on 7-3. So she was the last one to hatch out of here. No more syrup in that one. Wow, look at the beetles on this thing. Now I'm looking around. I don't see any beetles running around. There's no larva on the pollen patty. I mean, there's no beetles, no larva, anything. But look at these Swiffer sheets. Just look at that. The beetles on both sides. And there was one bee on it. Oh, he tried to sting me on the edge of the finger, and he did, but it didn't quite go in, so I'm lucky. Look at those beetles. And look at this sheet here. I mean, just solid beetles. So all those beetles would have been up in the hive, laying it up. And I don't see any under. Sometimes when you put the Swiffer sheet right in there right away, when you pull it up after a day or so, you'll see a few beetles that they round up onto the Swiffer sheet. But sooner or later, those beetles climb up that wall. That's why you put that sheet on the edge of that wall. They'll climb up that wall and onto that Swiffer sheet to try to get away, and they can't. So if you guys are using any kind of other sheets, let me know what kind they are. I buy these. They're in a box of, I think, 32, and it costs $10 a box. So not too expensive. I mean, to save a hive, especially one that had a new queen in it. These are also these are something new that I just put in. Now, they haven't caught anything, but I just put them in a couple of days ago after the Swiffer sheets. Of course, I don't see any beetles running around, but in the hives that I have just this, you put a bait in there that attracts the beetles. I don't use any oil or anything. There is one beetle in there. It's called Combat, and they sell it actually in our bee section at our hardware store to use in these traps. Now, I'm guessing it's some type of roach bait. I don't put it in on hives that have supers or anything, but what's good about these, you can open this up, squirt it down in the bottom, and there's no way the bees can reach it. And it's a gel, so no matter if you turn it upside down, it won't pour out. You don't spill any oil on your bees. I've done that numerous times with the other type, the red old beetle traps, and they sit flat. You can see where the bees propolize it all the way around the edge. They sit flat to where the beetles, I've yet to have beetles sit underneath these traps. So the beetles just crawl right in. They're attracted to the bait. They go in there and die. And if I run across one, I'll show you. I have one or two of these that have like 50 to 100 beetles in them because I didn't have the Swiffer sheets. But let's just pull out one or two frames to see how this hive is doing. This is a new queen also. All these Apame hives have new queens. And this is just a frame. You can see this was a frame that had wax moth damage. They clear out the sections where the wax moth damage was at. Now, if they're going to repair it, I don't know. They clean up the frame, but she has plenty of room to lay. Just a couple of weeks ago, these were just, this queen only had 3 frames, so any kind of brood would be good to see. Let's just feed. Again, more sugar water, because I'm doing a little bit of feeding on top, because the flow is, oh, they're still getting something somewhere, because they're not robbing as heavy as I thought. Here's a frame of brood. Let's see if we can get them to clear out. So this is the new queen's brood right here. Pretty good for August. And there's our new queen right there. She's marked with a red dot. I don't know if you can see her or not. She's right there over the brood. Okay. Well, that's all I need to see is that she's in there. And she's doing okay. And I'm going to keep on feeding them so that she can keep on brooding up for the winter. I'm going to put that beetle trap right where it was at. Oh, let me get me a sheet real quick. Okay, as you can see, it's the real Swifter sheet, the dry sweep cloths, and it comes 32 in a box at the dollar store. You can get them for $10. Like I said, all I do is tear them in half. One on this side, one on that side. Put the pollen patty back in the middle. This feeder still has a little bit of feed in it. After I finish feeding them, I'm gonna pull off these feeders and put me a foamy over the top, and just use one of those foam inner covers. Alrighty, so there you go. Beetle killer. I'm gonna keep on checking the rest of these. Okay, let's open this one up. Look at the ants that died in there. Well, this hive looks like it's doing pretty good. Here we're gonna pull off those Swiffer sheets. You can see all the propolis they put on them, trying to keep the beetles inside there. There's a lot of bees. There's got to be some brood in here somewhere. Oh, there it is. She got a nice little pattern for August. Well, today is actually September. Labor Day weekend. I keep thinking we're in August because it's still so hot. Yep, she's got a nice little pattern. Well, I had some good news as far as the beetles are concerned. The only one that had actually like 3 or 4 live beetles that I tried to squish was the one right there on the end. But these two, their brood, these two had great brood. These two had signs of uncapping, recapping going on. And it is spotty, but I mean, it is late in the summer, so they didn't have no pollen coming in, so I put them pollen patties. But I think they need some oxalic acid treatments. These are the only hives in my whole apiary. These 4 and this one. Now, that one over there has a Apame strip in it. I'm sorry, Apavore strip. But these are the only 5 that I didn't have enough strips for. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the vaporizer and come vaporize these real quick. Okay, this is supposed to be the little upgrade. It's a little insulation nipple that slips onto the end of the tubing, and it's supposed to keep your Apame hives from burning. So we're going to try this out real quick. The only thing is, I think you just got to sit here and hold it. So I'm going to close these doors. Yeah, it seems to be working pretty good. Okay, I found a way to keep it up there where I ain't got to stand there and hold it. And this is so easy. And now with that little insulation, it doesn't burn the Apame. This new cordless one is so much easier, quicker to set up, and heats up really quick. All right, I'm gonna continue doing all these, and I'll catch you guys another day. Y'all have a blessed day.